So the day I got out and I called Tip, like, he like, yo, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And he like, yo, you know, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm straight, my bank account. He like, bro, they hit you with the RICO. You need to go check your bank account. I went online, went to Bank of America, that shit said 0.00. Yo, I broke down in tears, my nigga.
So recently, DJ Drama appeared on the Math Hoffa platform, My Expert Opinion, and talked about his upbringing in the hip-hop and rap career as a DJ, with one of the most tense moments in his career with him actually being arrested for a RICO charge in Atlanta. Now, this is the same type of charges and indictment used to take down Young Thug and Gunna and 26 other members of YSL earlier this year in May. The RICO charges, as we know it, is used to take down mob bosses back in the 70s and was simply used to take down large corrupt organizations, hence the name RICO, Racketeer and Influence Corrupt Organization. The real reason why people flip in these RICO cases and why the feds usually win 90% of the time, basically the whole majority of the time, is because people snitch on their members in their crew to save themselves. Now, a simple example like this is someone is a driver, someone is a triggerman, and the driver is being offered 20 years, was the same amount of time as triggerman, even though they didn't harm anybody, they didn't kill nobody, and they basically had way less of an involvement in the crime. Now, a logical thinker that's not tied to the street code or not tied to any morals is going to sell their friend or crew member out because they think, hey, I didn't take their life, I didn't do anything bad, so I'm not going to be going away for 20 years even though I didn't do anything. And they snitch on the counterpart, and that's how basically drug organizations get taken down, because people flip over peer pressure. Now let's get back to DJ Drama, right? Because his situation did not go as deep or was as serious as the whole YSL situation or the situation I just listed above and explained. DJ Drama was notoriously known for his Gangsta Girls mixtape featuring T.I., Lil Wayne, Jeezy, Busta Rhymes that revamped the whole mixtape culture in the early 2000s in urban areas such as Atlanta, New York, Philadelphia, you name it. The Gangsta Girls mixtape series began in the early 2000s down in Atlanta, with Gangsta Girls Volume 1 being the first. Before DJ Drama began to put out his own albums with artists on them, he used to produce for some of the biggest names in the game at the time, such as Young Jeezy, Gucci Mane, even though they didn't get along with each other. With notable albums with very wide audience appeal and enjoyment, we have Jeezy's Trap or Die from 2004. When we talk about Atlanta, or Southern rap as a whole, Jeezy is a name that must be brought up in that conversation, as he has a unique Southern rapping style that he stays true to in every song. When we talk about ATL and the grimy street life and all the stuff that goes on there with the crime, I feel like Jeezy's music is basically the soundtrack to a lot of the young bulls coming up in the game, looking up to him, especially with this album, Trap or Die. A year later in 2005, DJ Drama produced for Lil Wayne on his Dedication mixtape in 2005. Now, with the lyrical and versatile rappers such as Lil Wayne, the sky was truly the limit for this collaboration, as it seemed like DJ Drama had a hand on all the hot artists in the industry. The reception of Lil Wayne's Dedication mixtape was truly appreciated, as a year later in 2006, he actually doubled back for the sequel, Dedication 2. The success of these Gangsta Girl mixtapes had artists around the world fiending to get a song or album produced by DJ Drama. In the same year of 2006, Drama produced T.I.'s mixtape, The League, and just from looking at Drama's discography, it's looking like he's putting 2 to 3 mixtapes out a year, heavily present in the culture. Now, one thing we have to realize is, this was a time in hip-hop, as music was bought physically with the CD, as there was no streaming platforms that allowed pirating or faking streams or any fake album sales. Your album sales are strictly based on how many people went to the corner store and bought your mixtape. Simple as that. Also, with mixtape being more physical copies, there's less of a chance that it could be leaked, which is a common problem we see today with many artists. From the raving of Math Hoffa and his crew members in this interview, it's looking like DJ Drama had a heavy hand in the industry when it came to working with music, and he really had a touch on everybody within the culture, working with various groups such as Jeezy, Lil Wayne, Young Buck from G-Unit, which is obviously 50 Cent's clique, as well as Pharrell from his album In My Mind, and it seems like he could simply work with anyone that he wanted to. Growing up, DJ Drama talked about living in different places, such as how he grew up in Philly, then he moved to New York for school, then he moved back to Philly, then he lived in Atlanta as he went to school, and that's actually how he met Don Cannon, his DJ best friend. And it looks like he's been able to really blend his career and work with different people and know it works, because he said that when he used to DJ at parties in university, he couldn't bring that tough Philly, that tough New York type music to people in the South, such as Atlanta. He had to learn how to reach people and make music from Texas to California, and he really had to be selective with the type of music he played around other people. Personally, I feel like to succeed in anything, it's all about knowing who your audience is and what they like. When Drama and Don Cannon started their group, Affiliates, They knew they had to bring a different sound to a different area. They knew they come from different backgrounds. They couldn't really bring that rough New York style to Atlanta. And they made amends and breeded the music in the proper way. Now this actually, in my opinion, paved a lot of way for them in success, as they actually worked with bigger artists in the future and knowing how to work with different type of sounds, especially Louisiana when it comes to like Lil Wayne, Birdman, people like M.A. Youngboy. Is a really different type of style of rapping, and learning how to blend with that, learning how to absorb different type of styles, make good music, is something that actually paid off a lot for him, because he's worked with a lot of people from different various backgrounds and cultures, and he's made multiple hits on hits. The discography of the Gangsta Grillz mixtape is some of the most serious work I've ever seen. You're talking about, you have Gangsta Grillz 12, Boys in the Hood, you got The Streets Is Watching, you got Trap or Die, you got Gangsta Grillz Volume 1, Gangsta Grillz Volume 2, Third Power, Street Quality Music. You got a lot of good stuff going in there. You got a lot of stuff that's well received, because a lot of people can relate to music because it has emotional appeal. Growing up in the struggle, which like a lot of people have obviously experienced, especially in Atlanta, the grimy trenches, they can relate to music such as Jeezy, produced by Drama, and they know that the music is hot because the music is relatable. That's why people enjoy music, because they can relate to it, and this is a prime example right here. During this time in Atlanta, like many other urban communities with poverty, there's a lot of crime going on, which causes a lot of violence. In January 2007, DJ Drama was indicted on the True Name Law. In simple terms, if you sell music in a CD, you need an address of the record label on the back, just so it shows physical evidence of a place, proving that this is a real business with a real product. Now in this interview, Drama went on to explain how he didn't know, which is obviously true, because why would he put himself in a situation where he could lose money when he's making it legally? Anyways, he said he lost the money and the feds rinsed it, because since it wasn't shown that there was an actual registered place and he had nothing on the black part of the label, which is the black part, just the back of the CD cover, they saw that this was probably illegal or something like that. During this time in Atlanta, there's a lot of drug stuff, there's a lot of RICO stuff going on, so they're just trying to basically pick up everybody they can and basically throw them all in jail. They searched the place, they didn't find any guns, they didn't find any weapons, they didn't find any drugs. They only found 50,000 CDs, which they basically confiscated all of them, took all the studio equipment, and actually locked up all his assets, which he found out in jail. The day after Drama got out of jail, he spoke to T.I. T.I. told him to check his bank account because I hit with the RICO. Checked his bank account, he saw that he had $0, and he said that he broke down crying because all his hard work that he put in to earn $400,000 in his career got wiped out, all because he forgot to put an address at the back of a black label. So when they froze his money and his other assets, that's how we knew this got real. Now he spoke about the feeling for working so hard for something and getting it all taken away from him, and he said this did derail him a bit because he was young, but he just started getting money usually like how he usually did, because he had some money on the side, and he went back to just kept putting music out and got back on his feet. And this is a prime example of only the strong survive. He was in jail for a long time. The feds actually had to throw out the RICO case because they had nothing against him. They searched the place, no guns, no drugs, nothing illegal, strictly music, strictly business, and the feds were upset, man. And Drama, one of the only rappers I can say that actually out here beat the feds and avoided a RICO charge, man. Now this happened in January 2007, right? And as we all know, the Super Bowl happens every year in February. The Super Bowl weekend happened a couple weeks later in Miami, Florida, which is of course a state over from Georgia, right? So as we all know, he had the most media attention he's ever had in his career because he was almost indicted on a RICO. You know, people know RICO is serious. You go away for a long time. Mob bosses were sent away for life for this, and they knew that this was a big deal. So he said he was in Miami, of course, and he basically got called by billboards. Before this happened, of course, asked him if they wanted to do some work with him. He said, sure, I'll do the work with the billboards if they make him the cover art, which they said, you're not really a rapper, you're a producer, so we can't make you the cover art. After this happened, we almost got indicted for a RICO when he came out of jail. The billboard hit him back a couple of days after saying, hey, you're still willing to do it, you're still willing to give us exclusive news, we will make you the cover, which they did. Label Atlantic Records hit him for the same thing, basically wanted to work with him, gave him like $400,000, I'm pretty sure. And basically, after all this hot controversy he's been in, label's ready to work and business ready to make some serious money.